a build-it-yourself helicopter, the fashion show gets underway, and why retractable pants have nothing to do with flashing people on the street. You're watching FullFlap.tv, I'm Vicky Ferrer. You might be thinking you've seen this before. Looks a bit like the Bell 47, doesn't it? That's not surprising because it's the same bubble you sit inside when you fly the Safari. It's not exactly speedy, this kit helicopter, with a flat-out top speed of 100 miles per hour, and you'll only get up to 10,000 feet, but that's not the point. This was built for low-level sightseeing and sheer pleasure. You can whip the doors off in around 10 seconds. It's also a kit, and that makes it cheap in comparison at around 120,000 US. If you fancy taking a look, they'll be at Aero Expo, along with us in Prague in 2 weeks' time. Don't forget there's also the London event, and you can find the details here. Here's a two-seater that should get the juices flowing. You might have thought the personal fighter jet had gone the way of the Javelin, but no! Viper Jet are still kicking out 400 knots, but they now say they're doing it more fuel efficiently. There's still no guns, but at least you use only half the fuel, although the fuel consumption overall is still... I think we'll move on. I have a real cliffhanger of a story for you. No, we haven't made this up. The Anchorage Daily News carried this story of a 21-year-old who came to rest in his Taylorcraft, not on the edge of the cliff, but just over it. The pilot and his friend managed to climb out. We're guessing he's now practicing his landings on short runways. A big hello to Flight for Life. The guys have embedded FullFlap.tv right on the front of their homepage. These guys use their ultralights to raise money for charity. While most people fly in their local area, they hope to fly to Africa from the UK. They've already warmed up with a 2,500 mile round trip in their home country. The team are looking for sponsors, and not surprisingly, they're generating some interest too, with around 1 million hits on their website last year. We are really hoping they keep us up to date with their progress, and I know they've already offered Rick a ride, so we'll see what happens. Check out their site at flightforlife.co.uk. More news in a moment, but first, last week we looked ahead to Aero Expo Europe.
With the first event taking place on the 22nd to the 24th of May in Prague in the Czech Republic, the second in London in June. And if you're watching me right now in a completely different part of the world from these shows, then fear not, because if you can come, then great, we'd love to meet you, and you'll get to see some amazing aircraft firsthand. But if you can't, well, come along with us anyway on your computer screen, on that thing you're watching me on right now. It's also on the metro line from one of the most amazing cities in Europe, which is Prague. I went there on my wedding anniversary last year, and it was fantastic. Absolutely brilliant place to combine a weekend of tourism and aviation. London event is on the outskirts of the UK's capital city, but then I'm sure you know that. If you check each show's website, there are various discounts available as well, and you might even be eligible to get in free too, but check out the website for that. So join us at Aero Expo Europe, and we will take you with us. Now, what are your standards like in hotels? We'll find out what ours is like, because you'll be joining us.
More coming soon with massive coverage. We also started the fashion show. It was a big experiment as we tried to get all our judges on, and despite the sound, it was a lot of fun.
Well, it is hurting my eyes with this canard, or is it a pointed moustache? I don't like the rudders on the wingtips either. It looks like the builders have mixed up the construction drawings.
Well, this is a fashion show, and out of fashion, 8 out of 10.
Oh, look, Rick, if it ain't Boeing, it ain't going. It's a beautiful looking aircraft. You know, every pilot wants to fly. They all want to get up there. Look, it's a great looking aircraft. I mean, how could you not look at that and say, oh, that's just pure, beautiful, just stunning. I love it. It's great.
I got to go with a 3. Can't go any higher than that.
I'm going to be very generous. Being British, I'm going to be polite about it and say it's a very, very generous 1. Okay, moving on.
I'm a big fan of home builds and kits, and the Velocity looks like a very fun little airplane. I agree with everybody else. A lot of connections to the Starship, but now modern, and so I think it's a great aircraft for now.
Right, well, let's have a look at these final scores, and if my maths is right, and hopefully it is here, we have got, out of the first 3 on here, the winner so far is the Velocity with 35 points, then the Beechcraft Starship with 31, and the Boeing 777 at 23. But we'll find out more with our other aircraft in part 2.
Now, I've never really thought of Van's aircraft as known for their performance, but recently I went up in an RV8 and we will have that for you very soon, but all I can say for now is wow. One last story to come, let me tell you about this week. We'll have the second part of the fashion show and we'll also be talking to a man who's come up with an alternative to the flying car. Finally, surely the coolest group of aviators gathered in Austria recently for an aviation sporting event. Was it a gathering of followers of air race ace Hannes Arch? No. Instead, it was a bunch of people flying paper planes. Apparently, there were 2 days of intense competition with Croatia, Japan and Brazil taking gold. Got to laugh. You're watching FullFlat.tv. I'm Vicky Ferrer.